Liz Dean has come out with another interesting deck. It's the Victorian Steampunk Tarot by Liz Dean, and the illustrator is by Bev Speight. Bev Speight is the illustrator, and they've both done remarkable work. Full color illustrations in the guidebook here. A little bit of extra information on each card in the first paragraph. And then the second paragraph is kind of generic tarot card information. Now, what's interesting about this deck, let me get to the box. Box is kind of a flop. It's opens from the top, but it sinks into, it gets stuck on the box. Here's the inside of the box. So not a very good box, but at least it's hard cardboard. Here's the back of the box. It's by Chico Books. Okay. Chico Books. All right. Interesting. Liz Dean has created insects for the suits. Here you see the suit of wands here, the Ace of Wands. It's represented by a moth. And our suit of cups is represented by a dragonfly. Now, the suit of pentacles is a beetle. And the suit of swords is represented by a bee. So that basically will remind you what suit each card is in. Cardstock-wise, well, it's quite a bit bigger than a standard tarot, as you can see. Has a nice texture to it. It's a bit on the glossy side. Here's the back of the card. And here we have our bee, our dragonfly, our moth, and our beetle on the back. I do like the back here. Not reversible. A nice back. Well, let's get into it. Our first card, the Fool, is represented by a butterfly. I have a dog here at the bottom, and a couple of butterflies at the top here. Got a white rose. Hey, next we have the Magician. Have a Victorian style hot air balloon or flying machine. I have a deck of cards here, and here's our insects here at the bottom of the card representing the suits. Pretty interesting. And next we have the High Priestess. Well, this deck is very abstract, so it certainly doesn't adhere to Smith Wade or a lot of other decks. It's definitely an original exercise in creativity. This is our High Priestess. We have a journal here at the bottom. Hey, next we have the Empress. I have a 1 penny stamp here in the center. I have a little crown here. And that's our High Priestess. The Emperor is next. Emperor is here. Interesting background there. I'm not sure how to define that, but there it is. Okay, our High Priest in lieu of a High Priestess. Or High Priest in lieu of a Hierophant. I'm sorry. High Priest. Instead of a Hierophant, we have a couple of keys here. A little cross. And here's our Lover's card. A lot of gears. Of course, steampunk incorporates a lot of gears. So Liz has combined a Victorian motif with steampunk on this deck here. If you notice, my tapestry here is steampunk, gears and so forth. Okay, next we have the Flying Machine instead of the Chariot. We have a flying machine. Victorian age, they thought that they could fly eventually by utilizing gears and steam power and stuff like that. That's as far as they could envision flying machines. A couple of chess pieces down here for the horse. Hey, and we got strength. Lion has a red rose, I believe, there in his mouth. Interesting. And here's our Hermit card. There's a RWS Smith-Waite Hermit down here, as you can see. It's a hourglass. And an interesting, looks like some type of wand. Here, you got animal skull there. Oh, I see, that's like a snake. And that's the head of the snake is a skull. Okay, I got it. Hey, this gear is the Wheel of Fortune. And we see the 4 insects there representing the suits. Hey, then we get into Justice here. I have a sword. We have a steampunk owl there. And there's our scale. Hey, then we have the Hanged Man. We have an upside down clock, which is pretty cool. That's our Hanged Man. Hey, now we go on to Death. I have a crow, or perhaps a raven, I'm not sure. I think it's a crow. And here we have a skull here with a gear steampunk style eye. Very creative. And here's Temperance. We have a couple silver chalices here. Have a stone statue here representing Temperance. Okay, then we have the Devil. Interesting. We have a gear steampunk bird here. And this is an animal skull. That represents the Devil. And here's our Tower card. Have a couple of stone figures here falling out of the tower, I guess. Kind of a cool Tower card. And here's a star. We have a steampunk brass star here. A couple other silver chalices here. That's a star. The moon. Wow, look at that foreboding moon there. Have a dog and a wolf. It's like some fish jumping out of the water there. And here's our steampunk sun card with sunflowers at the bottom. Kind of neat. Hey, and here is Judgment. I have a stone figure here representing an angel. I think that's a trumpet. It's a very simple musical instrument, but I believe it's a trumpet. And then we have the World card. We have an antique globe here. The gear sun there. We have a hand pointed to the right. A couple of cherubs here at the bottom. Okay, moving on to the suit of Moss. And Moss, once again, represent wands. So this is our Ace of Moss, or wands. And here's our 2 of Moss. And here's the 3 of Moss. And here's our 4. At least they've included the conventional tarot suit here. In addition to the insects here, they've included that. That's a nice touch. And here's our 5 of Moss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the 6. And the 7. I'm not real impressed with the minor cards here. Not a lot of things going on. Not much. There's a whole bunch of continuity, on on the minors here, but I like it when they break it up a little bit and change it up. So our 9 and our 10 of moss. Hey, and this is our page. Let's see what happens with the courts here. Let's see if the courts get a little more creative. Well, not really. Here's our knight of moss. And our queen. And our king of moss. Not real impressed with the courts. And certainly not the minors in this deck here. I'm just not really impressed. Okay, moving on to dragonflies, which is cups here. Okay, this is our ace. I did like the majors, though. I did appreciate that. I'm starting to doubt here this deck here with these minors here. Okay, dragonflies, 2 of dragonflies. And this is the 3. And here's the 4. I think I'm end up going through these relatively quickly. There's just not a lot of interesting artwork here that break up the monotony. Okay, here's our 6 of dragonflies. And our 7. Here's our 8. Our 9. Our 10 of dragonflies or cups. Certainly no happy family here. Here's our page of dragonflies. And our knight. And the queen. And the king of dragonflies. Okay, here's our ace of beetles. And beetles represent pentacles. This is our ace. And here's the 2. And the 3. And the 4. A little coin there in the middle. Here's the 5 of beetles. Here's the 6. And the 7. And the 8. Almost pip-like on these minors here. Even the quartz are almost pip-like. And here's our 9 of beetles. And here's the 10. 10 of beetles, or pentacles. Here's our page. And here's the knight. A little shield down there with the knight. Here's our queen with a queen crown there. And here's the king of pentacles with a pen crown, a king crown, I mean. Okay, moving on to swords or bees. This is our ace of bees. And our 2. The 3. Do have a heart up here at the top. Not a red one, but it is a heart with a dagger through it. That's our 3 of bees. Here's our 4. And the 5. the 6. Here's our 7 of bees, or swords. And here's the 8. The 9 of bees. And here's our 10. Okay, moving on to the quartz here. This is our page. And here's our knight, another little shield down here at the bottom. And here's our very predictable queen with a queen crown. And wrapping it up is the king of bees with a little king crown there. Well, that's the deck. I didn't like the majors. I don't like the minors. I've got to be honest. So anyways, well, that's Liz Dean and Bev Speight's creation here. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I thank you for your support. Thanks.